The question that will haunt you. Picture this. You're standing at the top of everything society told you to want. The big office, the fancy car, the bank account that never runs empty. You've got it all. So why does it feel like you have nothing? Today, I'm going to tell you about Alex, a man who climbed the mountain of success, only to find out he was climbing the wrong mountain. But here's what will shock you. His story might be your future. Unless you learn what he learned before it's too late. Stop for a second and ask yourself this. If you got everything you're chasing right now, would you actually be happy? Remember that question, because Alex thought he knew the answer too.
The golden prison. Alex wasn't just successful. He was the kind of successful that makes your old friends secretly hate their own lives. At 32, he lived in a glass tower, 45 floors above the city. His apartment wasn't just nice, it was perfect. Every piece told a story of winning. The $80,000 watch on his nightstand, the coffee machine that cost more than most people's cars, the smart home that listened to his every word. But here's where the story gets dark. That same apartment, this temple to success, was hiding a secret. A secret Alex worked hard to keep from the world. Walk into his kitchen, and you'd find a fridge that told a completely different story. Empty shelves, sour milk, a salad from 3 weeks ago that looked like a science experiment, energy drinks lined up like soldiers, the only food in his war against being tired all the time. The hidden cost. His Instagram told one story: fancy lunches in glass offices, first-class flights to cool places, champagne at business parties. Everyone loved his posts. The likes came flooding in. But behind every perfect picture was a man who hadn't had a real conversation in months. He was acting out his life instead of living it. When your mind becomes your enemy, late at night, when the city got quiet, Alex would stand at his huge windows and feel something he couldn't explain. It wasn't sadness. Sadness was too simple. It was emptiness. Like there was a hole in his chest that echoed when he breathed. 3:47 a.m. Terror. His phone buzzes. Another email. Another crisis. Another chance to prove he's worth something. His heart pounds as the blue light burns his eyes. Sleep becomes something he can't afford. Rest becomes the enemy of progress. His body, once his friend, now betrays him. Always on edge, always waiting for the next emergency that might never come. The twisted truth. The most messed up part. Alex was proud of this. He wore his sleepless nights like medals. His skipped meals like trophies. I'm building something big, he'd tell himself. This is what it takes. But the question that haunted him in quiet moments was, what exactly was he building? And why did it feel like it was built on the grave of everything he used to love? Warning: the body keeps score. But the universe has a way of sending warnings before it drops the hammer. Alex's body was keeping track, even when his mind refused to listen. Act 2. The slow-motion car crash. Here's what they don't tell you about success. It's like a drug. And like any drug, it wants more and more, until it eats everything you once were. Alex's calendar was perfect. Every minute planned, every meeting with a purpose. But somewhere between networking events and performance reviews, he'd forgotten how to just be with another human being. His niece's dance show? Canceled for a client dinner. His mom's birthday? A quick call between meetings, cut short by another urgent email that wasn't really urgent at all. The body fights back. The headache started small, a dull pain behind his eyes that he killed with expensive pills. Then came the chest pains, sharp and sudden, like his heart was trying to escape. His reflection in elevator mirrors showed a stranger. Thin cheeks, dark circles under his eyes, a smile that never looked real. The success trap. But here's the sick joke that will chill your blood. The more successful Alex became, the more he felt like a failure as a human being. Every promotion made the gap wider between who he was and who he remembered being. Every achievement felt like he was betraying his real self. The people he lost. His sister stopped calling, not because she was mad, but because she was tired. Every conversation became Alex talking about deals and deadlines. His mom learned to text instead of call. At least then she wouldn't hear the stress in his voice. The way his words came out sharp and broken. The night everything changed, and then came the night when Alex found himself standing in his empty apartment at 2 a.m., surrounded by everything he'd ever wanted, asking himself a question that would haunt him. If I died tomorrow, who would miss the real me? Not the fake version I show the world. The silence was deafening. The point of no return. What Alex didn't know was that his body was already writing checks his soul couldn't cash. The warning signs weren't whispers anymore, they were screams. But he'd spent so long ignoring the quiet voice inside him that he'd forgotten how to listen to anything except the noise of ambition. The day that would change everything. The big presentation was set for Tuesday morning. Room full of executives. Career-making moment. The kind of opportunity that creates legends. Alex had no idea. It would be the day his perfect world would crash and burn. When everything falls apart. Tuesday, 10:43 a.m., conference room 12A. Alex was in the middle of explaining numbers to a room full of suits when the world started spinning. It began as a whisper, a little dizziness, a flutter in his chest. Then it became a roar. The moment his body said, "Enough," the laptop fell from his hands like it was made of water. The room spun like a broken carnival ride. His chest felt like someone was driving a nail through his heart. The worried faces around the table turned into blurry paintings. The last thing he remembered was the cold conference room floor hitting his face. Silence in the hospital. When he woke up, the first thing he noticed wasn't the pain. It was the quiet. No buzzing phones, no email alerts, no calendar reminders. Just the steady beep, beep, beep of machines watching over the body he'd forgotten how to take care of. The crushing truth. The second thing he noticed was how alone he was. Where were his work friends, his networking contacts, his thousands of social media followers? In his darkest hour, his carefully built professional world showed its true face. It was built on what you could do for people, not who you actually were. But then, a hand in the dark, a gentle hand slipped into his, old, familiar, real. His mom had flown 2,000 miles the second she heard. She'd dropped everything without thinking twice, without wondering what was in it for her. In that white hospital room, surrounded by beeping machines, Alex saw his life with painful clarity. The prison he built. He'd spent years building walls to protect his ambition, only to discover he'd built a prison for his soul. Every missed call with his mom was a brick in those walls. Every canceled family dinner was another bar on his cage. Every "I'm too busy" was dirt thrown on the grave of his real self. Breaking point. In that hospital bed, Alex cried for the first time in 5 years. Not from the physical pain, but from realizing he'd traded his humanity for a fake crown. He'd become the king of nothing, ruling over achievements that meant nothing to anyone who actually mattered. Coming back to life, recovery wasn't just about his body. It was about his soul, his heart, his whole life. Alex's first act of rebellion against his old self was simple but powerful. He said no. The power of no. To the late-night email that demanded instant attention. No to the weekend meeting that could wait until Monday. No to the toxic belief that his worth was measured in work hours and money made. Each no to his addiction was a yes to his healing. Rediscovering the world. He started taking walks, not power walks with podcasts and phone calls, but real walks where he actually noticed things. The way morning light painted shadows on sidewalks, the sound of kids laughing in parks, the smell of fresh coffee from shops he'd driven past 1,000 times but never entered. Your choice. The question is, which crown will you choose? Alex's story could be a warning or a roadmap. The ending hasn't been written yet. Not for him, and definitely not for you. The choice, as always, is yours to make. Remember, if you lose your health, your loved ones, and your purpose while chasing success, that success is really failure in disguise. True success is when your money, your health, and your happiness all grow together, not when one kills the others.